This is a story of hope. It's a story of a friend of mine who a few years ago I helped buy his first home. And he shopped for quite a while. He finally decided on a property that he just fell in love with. His whole family did in Monroe, Oregon. And the house was a manufactured home. It was a little beat up, but it was well within his budget and had a lot of potential. So we go through the process. He gets his offer accepted, and we begin the process of making sure that the foundation is correct, like you do on a manufactured home when you're going with a government loan. And our foundation guy goes under the house only to discover that a sewer line had burst under the house, and that all along the vapor barrier, there were several inches of human waste. Now, that's not the story, although that's a pretty crappy one, pun intended. Okay, but so they go back to the seller and they explain what they found, and the seller agrees to fix the pipe, but he does not agree to clean out the waste from under the home. He refuses to. So, of course, we're at an impasse. Our client, of course, is not going to take possession of a house full of human waste, and our seller's not going to fix it, and the deal falls apart. And I had a very sullen buyer, somebody who really thought that they had found the home for their family, the home that they wanted to have for the rest of their life. Well, fortunately for them, they didn't give up. They kept looking. And about a week later, they called me up all excited. They found another home. They found a home in Harrisburg, Oregon. It was a stick-built home. It had a little bit of unfinished space upstairs. So it kept the cost in line, and it gave them the opportunity, just like the other home, it was a little ugly, to make the improvements they wanted and really build some equity in the home. And the home still qualified. So the beautiful thing about that is they get into contract, and they lived in the house for over a decade. And then they finally turned the house into a rental, and they own it to this day. Now, the reason I'm telling you this story is that time and time again, I see people who, for whatever reason, have fallen out of contract, whether it's feces under the house, or some other problem with an inspection, or problem with funds. Or I had sellers one time who owed taxes, and it was an estate, and three of the four, or we had two out of two were ready to pay the taxes that were due on the estate with the sale of the house. The other two weren't. Four heirs. They couldn't come to agreement at the closing table, and my guy ends up losing the house. These things happen. But here's what I can tell you. In every single case that I have been involved in, everyone, the nicer house, the house that is meant for you and your family, is right behind it. So if you give up, you're never going to find the house. You have to do the work. But I'm telling you, there is a plan for you. And as long as you do the work, you're going to find the right house. You just simply will. It's not easy to do. It's really not easy to do in this market, and it's really easy to give up. But appreciation is going through the roof right now. The new numbers just this morning from Case-Shiller showed a year-over-year 19.2% appreciation in January. There's no reason to think that's really going to go down a whole lot. Even if it gets cut in half, you're looking at 10% appreciation this year. You can't afford to just give up if you're serious about your dream of owning a home. And I'm telling you that even if you find a home, and for some reason you cannot come to agreement on that home, or there's some irreconcilable problem with an inspection, whatever it happens to be, that's just not the home for you, and that a better home is waiting. So do the work, keep at it. Don't be afraid to get into this market, and don't be afraid to stay in this market, and good things will happen. It happens every single time.